Hey guys, today I want to talk about the differences between the Philippines and America. Before we get into this video about the differences between the Philippines and America, I just wanted to make a quick statement. What I'm about to talk about the differences here is just an observation. It's based on my experience of living in the Philippines and also of being American. But you know, this is not a bash on either country. I don't want it to come across that way because I love both countries. I love America, of course, from where I'm from, and love living in the Philippines. I don't want this to be a bash on either country. I hope it doesn't come out that way. It's just based on statistics, things that I found, and it's also based on my observation and experience here in the Philippines. Living here for the past 2 months, but I also visited many times. So yeah, I wanted to get that out of the way. Most of my time actually has been spent in Japan, and I'm going to also make a make a video about the difference between Japan and the Philippines also. So stay on the lookout for that. But anyway, this one is about the difference between the Philippines and America. So let's get into it. First of all, I'm going to throw some statistics at you. Health. There is a lot less obese people in the Philippines. Now, it could be a number of reasons. It could be because of money, financial reasons about it, you know, but I tend to think it's mainly because of eating healthier. A lot of Filipinos eat fish and rice and seafood and a lot more fruits and vegetables like mangoes and stuff like that. That seems to be healthier compared to America, where we eat a lot of oily foods and stuff that's not as healthy. But anyway, yeah. Life, now when you think about life, I'm talking about like life expectancy. I looked this up. I looked up the statistics in the United States. The life expectancy is around 80 years of age. And in the Philippines, the life expectancy averages 70. So I think that has to do with a number of reasons too. Probably, medical reasons, the kind of medical care that you can get in the United States compared to in the Philippines. And, it could be a number of other factors too. But you guys can look it up if you want to. But anyway, as far as life expectancy, the U.S. is 80 and the Philippines is 70. Money. Now, let's talk about work and making money in the Philippines. They make less money here in the Philippines, obviously. If you haven't done so, you can watch my interview I did with 3 beautiful Filipinas, where they talk about their work and how much money they make, and you can compare it with the United States. And so obviously it's a lot less in the Philippines. Cost of living, of course, is a lot less too. Unemployment is a lot higher here in the Philippines compared to in America. And the poverty level is definitely higher too. And I wanted to say, if you plan on coming to the Philippines to work, you might as well forget the idea of actually working in the Philippines because of the unemployment and stuff like that. And if a Filipino can do it, they'll probably give the job to a Filipino. So if you come here and you want to work, you want to make money, you should have something lined up already. Either something in the States where you're getting income to you, working online or some other way. Because if you come here expecting to work, it probably won't work out for you. Let's talk about basic needs. Now, in America, everyone has electricity in America. Now, I looked it up. Only at 90% in the Philippines have electricity. So if you go somewhere in the Philippines, they may not have electricity. 10% of the population doesn't have electricity. Now, let's talk about the internet. In the United States, 90% of households have some kind of internet. And in the Philippines, it's 60%. Now, as far as internet goes, I have internet here. I have a Sky Fiber internet. The internet upload speeds and download speeds seems to be, slower. There's compared to like the United States, it has a more unstable condition. Sometimes, it suddenly won't work without reason, for no reason. Maybe there's a reason, I just don't know, but sometimes it just doesn't work. And so, like in the United States or other countries, internet usually works all the time. If there's a problem, it usually gets fixed really quickly. Here, it can be a couple of days. So the internet is a little different here than it is in the United States. All right, so we talked about life and basic needs. Let's talk about expressions. Americans usually point with their fingers, whereas Filipinos, they usually use their face expressions more, I noticed. Like they use their lips. Like if you ask them a question, like where is something that, or, they use their eyebrows when saying yes, like, yeah, whatever. Would you like to do something tonight? Yeah, like that. Whereas Americans would just say, yeah, sure, or they would point or something. It's over there. So that's a little bit different the way they express themselves here. That's pretty interesting, and that leads into like the culture. I want to talk about the cultural differences between Philippines and America. Let's talk about the sun. I feel like Filipinos tend to hide from the sun. They walk in the shade. They hide behind poles. When you go swimming, you'll notice that most Filipinos wear T-shirts when they swim. They don't like getting darker because darker is considered lower class, working out in the sun all day, like in a rice fields or something. Whereas in America, tall, dark, and handsome, a lot of people go to the beaches. They lay out in the sun to try to get a tan. That's considered sexy and attractive. But in the Philippines, it's total opposite. Let's talk about a few words, the difference in a few words. There's a ton of different words that Filipinos use compared to America. Like they say CR, which means comfort room, instead of in America, we say restroom. They say brown out when there's no electricity. Like in America, we say blackout. So there's a ton of different words that the Filipinos use compared to America. I won't go into them all now because I'm going to do a thing on Filipino later. But as far as American words, they use them a little bit differently. Filipinos are polite and sensitive. They're not confrontational at all. Whereas in America, Americans like myself seem to be more direct. We don't sugarcoat anything. If we don't like something, we say, we're pretty much direct about it. Whereas Filipinos just don't do that. They are more polite and more sensitive. They always call me sir here, or you'll hear them say ma'am, sir all the time. Even with their families, even there's a lot of respect with the families, and so it's a little bit different compared to America, where we can get along with their families, but we don't necessarily have to like them. We don't want to go to every event that they have. But here it seems like cousins, uncles, aunts, everybody's like really, really close. So that's part of the culture. Let's move on to pace and time. I don't know if you heard before, or maybe you have. There's a thing called Filipino time. Americans seem to be a lot more fast-paced and busy. If you go to a place like New York or a big city, some people are moving really quickly to be on time or to be early. Whereas here in the Philippines, things seem to be slower and laid back, and it's Filipino time. Yeah, that's, you would see people, even at work, like laid back on their phones sometimes. You know, Even at 7-Eleven when I first came here, people was like on their phones. Maybe there was break time or whatever, but anyway, it seems to be a lot more laid back here than in America, where we would never think of doing something like that. And another thing about the Philippines is sharing. People, Filipinos, Filipinas, they are willing to share, and they don't care if they know you or it could be a stranger. They're willing to share their food. It doesn't matter how much they have or how much money they have. Whereas in America, we are more independent, and we're like, get your own food. Like if I go out to eat or something, I ordered this, it's mine. This is what I want to eat. If you wanted to eat it, you should have ordered it. Whereas in the Philippines, they tend to share everything. And so that's a little bit different too. Family, I talked about a little bit with cousins and uncles and all that stuff. But there's a big respect in the Philippines. Again, there's a thing called, I believe it's mano, where they take their hand and they put it on the forehead to show respect when greeting an older person that's older than you, grandparents, or anybody older than you. We in the United States, we sometimes use Mr. or Mrs. In school, but really not so much after that. We call everybody like first names and stuff. So we don't have like those respect titles, or not as much respect, I think, in the United States as they do here in the Philippines. Let's talk about rules. I feel like in the Philippines, there's basically no rules, really. There's littering is done. If you go on the streets, littering all over the place. Road rules, I don't feel like there's many road rules at all. And people pass each other. Oncoming traffic, if there's nothing coming, they will pass somebody. Like if you get in line for something, I was in line in 7-Eleven, or I thought I was. No, where was I? Maybe it was Robinson's. We were in line. I was in line at Robinson's for getting some food, groceries, and we had a lot. I had a lot of food, and then this woman with 2 or 3 things just went in front of me and paid for hers like it was nothing. In America, we wouldn't do that. We consider that rude. Like, I was here before you. Even though she had less items than me, you should still get in line and line up. So that's different too. I want to talk about tipping too. In America, tipping is kind of a big part of America. It's expected to tip between 15 to 20%, even though it's not mandatory. And here, tipping is they do tipping, but it seems to be less common. There'll be like a tipping jar or something out there. It's not really expected to give a tip. Whereas in America, if you eat it's kind of expected to give a tip. So that's a little bit different. Knives, most Filipinos use spoons and not knives. I noticed that right away when I got the condo here. There was no knives, only forks and spoons. I think that reason for that is because not a lot of beef is eaten. It's mostly fish or chicken or something that you really don't need to cut a knife with. So they mainly use spoons instead of knives. So if you come here expecting to get a knife at like a restaurant or something, I mean, some obviously have those. There's mainly forks and spoons. Music. In the United States, people play music obviously in their house or during a party or something, but we don't like getting really, really loud because people don't like that. It kind of disturbs them, and sometimes police are called and whatnot. But here, music seems to be everywhere. and it's played loud. Like you can hear it outside all the time. If you go in a taxi, they play music loud. On the beach, music is played loud. Whereas in America, it's just not done because we worry about, we don't want to make, not offend other people, but some people don't want to listen to what we're listening to. But here, it doesn't seem to matter, which can be I like music, so, but for YouTube and monetization, once it gets to that point, it can be, you can get a lot of copyright strikes because of music, so you got to be really careful, and which is why I made a Patreon in order to put things on there with music like karaoke and stuff. But anyway, music here is everywhere, so if you're a music lover, you're going to love it in the Philippines. Karaoke and all that good stuff. Now, I feel also in the Philippines, Filipinos are instantly friendly to foreigners. You know, you can go and talk to a Filipino, like they'll smile at you, they'll say hi. I just went swimming. There's a Filipino family down there, and didn't know them at all, and they was like hi. And so in America, it doesn't seem to be as friendly to foreigners. If you're a foreigner coming to America, yeah, it doesn't seem to be as friendly at all compared to the Philippines. What else? I also want to talk about like the movie theater, even though I haven't been here yet. I haven't been to the movie theater here yet. But the movie here are really cheap compared to in the United States. If you go to the United States and America to the movies, it's probably going to cost you $10 to $15 for a ticket, and it'll probably cost you $15 to $20 or more for the food in the theater. And here, the tickets are, I can't remember exactly the price, but they're really cheap, maybe like $3 or something. And in the theater, you don't even have to, they have food, which is cheap there, but you can even bring your own food into the theater. You don't necessarily even have to buy it there. So you can take your own food in, which saves you a ton of money. So I really like the movie theaters here in the Philippines better than in the United States. What else difference? Drinking, as far as alcohol, in the United States, the legal age is 21. Here in the Philippines, it's 18. So there's that. The beaches, there are incredible beaches here in the Philippines. And if you go to a beach in the Philippines, they're the most beautiful beaches in the world. They're white beaches. They're very clean, which kind of surprised me considering, you know, if you go out on the streets and look at all the littering and stuff, but the beaches are incredible as compared to in America. We have nice beaches, but the beaches here just you just can't beat the beaches in the Philippines. All right, so yeah, that's about it. This video has gone on for about 20 minutes by the time I edit it and upload it. So thanks for watching all the way to the end. I don't want to go on forever. I'm going to make a video next probably about the differences between Japan, where I lived for over 20 years, and the Philippines, so stay tuned for that. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you in another video.